Okay, let's do this. Jog 3 miles before breakfast. Make it to work by 9. Run out for a salad at lunch. Oh, time to own that meeting at 3. Yes, 10,000 steps. What's next?
Fearless is not hitting snooze. That's the power of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Federal Employee Program. With more healthy benefits and tools, no one does more to help you live fearless. Sign up at fepblue.org/action by December 14th.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, you are now tuned in to 110 Sports Talk. I go by the name Lynn Knight. Hey,
it's the best.
Running through the competition, no competition. You don't believe it, turn us up. Sit back and listen. We bringing you the stats, all the breaking news and facts. Want the latest on the biggest trade, well this is where it's at. We don't talk it, boy, we live it. Got that all around coverage. From track and field, you name a field, we got it all covered. No diss to Derrick Rose, but we don't talk that bull. Just wait till he get healthy, better watch out for them bulls. Slide over the hockey, shout out to the Kings. Salute to LeBron James, y'all both got y'all rings. Looking for the real, you tune into the best. The sportologist and Mr. CJ Sports is up next.
I want to welcome everybody to the 110 Nation Sports Show. I am your host, Mr. CJ Sports. Glad to be here on this Monday night. Glad to be back on the air, period. Rough week last week here at 110 Nation. If it wasn't one thing, it was another. Only getting in 1 hour of the total 15 hours of 110 Nation Sports Radio Network that we normally, there we go, have. Already passed that. So we're already an hour and some odd minutes in this week. So already doing better so far this week. Don't forget, we are on the 110 Nation Sports Show is on Monday through Wednesday, 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got the 110 Nation Morning Show Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Rubbing is Racing we had on a little bit early tonight, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock on Monday nights. And then, of course, Racing with Big Sweat Thursday night at 9 o'clock. So make sure you guys check it out. Also, make sure you guys check out our fan pages. You can check out my fan page, Mr. CJ Sports. You can check out the 110 Nation fan page, 110 Nation Sports. Also check out our website, www.the110nation.com. Also check out our blog site, www.the110nationsports.com. Trying to get a couple of things straight. All right, God, it's been an interesting week. It's been an interesting weekend. There's been a lot going on, and obviously missed out on some of the topics last week not being on the air, but good God, we couldn't miss it today. NASCAR, 35 down, 1 race to go. We're going to talk about a little bit about Phoenix. We're going to talk about Homestead. Yes, Shorty and I will be going to Homestead. We pull out Friday. We'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute. NFL. Patrick Taylor had some things come up. He will not be joining us for the second half of the show, so I will be taking over those reins by myself today or tonight, and we'll be talking a little bit of NFL as well. UFC. There was 2 things I can always count on. I could count on the fact that Floyd Mayweather will never lose a boxing match, and I thought I could count on Rhonda Rousey never losing a UFC match. Was stunned by Holly Holmes this weekend as Rhonda Rousey witnessed her suffer her first loss in her UFC career. Talk a little bit about that as well, amongst some other things. So looking forward to jumping into those topics and talking about it. God, I tell you what, as much as, first of all, first things first, thoughts and prayers go out to all those that lost family, friends, over the weekend. If it be, I can't think of the other country. I was trying to think of the other country. Paris was the only one that got hit by ISIS this weekend. And thoughts and prayers out to Paris and France. I'm sorry, France. And like I said, there's another country that I can't think of off the top of my head. It was significant. I think it was only like 40. I say only 40, but it was like 40 deaths, I believe, in that country. But definitely thoughts and prayers go out to that. Also, President, and I hate using this word, President, in front of his name, but President Obama, do us a favor, grow a pair of balls and start doing something. Instead of letting all these people in the daggone country and letting everybody smack us around and smack everybody else around, grow a pair of balls. And let's just, either one, let's get him out of the presidency, or let's do something. Something's got to happen. But anyway, we're not here to talk about them, but I just want to make sure thoughts and prayers are out to them. As great as it is to have the opportunity to go to these sporting events, I tell you what, it makes the week hectic here at the 110 Nation. As of course, this is not, our only job, so we got to both, Shorty and myself, both got to put the full 40 hours, 40 plus hours. She puts in almost 50 hours most week. I do 40 hours at my job, the max I can have, and then you got the kids. Then you got the dog, and then, of course, I got, at the minimum, if I don't do nothing extra, which I got like 20,000 things I'm supposed to be doing, even if I did the bare minimum, you're looking at least 15 hours in shows. A lot of things to plan, and then you got to compact it. And trust me, I'm not complaining. I'm just kind of giving you an idea of what it's like. Even, when I get the opportunity to post on Facebook, oh, good, get right there. I posted earlier today. Getting ready to go to Holmes, or get to go to Homestead this week, and all the exciting stuff, and then you got to sit there and think about, today we reserved the hotel. It was one of the nights we're going to be staying in the hotel, and then we had to reserve the rental car, because out of the 3 vehicles, only one works, and none of them we trust to make all the way to Homestead. None of them we even trust to make it to the border, not alone Homestead. And so you see, well, there's no extra funds coming in, so it's all coming out of your packet. Then you start, we're paying for one night of hotel, and all actuality we should really be staying 2, paying for the car, and, just all the stuff that goes behind, all the work that goes into it, come back to all those hours. Thank God I have 8 hours of vacation time I get to use, so it's not as critical, because even though I can only put 40 hours in next to maximum, I have to at least put 36 hours in. So, if and our week happened to start off on a Friday, fortunately for me, I'm going to go into work probably about 5 to noon, so I'll get a good 7 hours in, but that would kill me to have Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. Then I'd have to try to get the other 29 hours in the next 3 days, and that's just a lot of shifts and work around the shows. Fortunately, remember, I got 8 hours paid vacation coming, where I started the last 2 months of the last year, so I'm gonna cash in on those. But the plans are we're gonna pull out of here about noon. I get off at noon. I should put us on the road at 12:30, 1 o'clock. We'll have everything set, ready to go. I only work 9 to 2 on Thursdays. That gives me an opportunity to get everything, my stuff, packed anyway. And I'm sure Shorty will have either her stuff packed the rest of the way, or packed Thursday before she goes to work, or Friday, because she'll be off Friday morning. We'll pick up the rental car about 12 o'clock. And like I said, be on the road about 12:30, 1 o'clock. Got to drop her kids off. Got to drop the dog off. Matter of fact, I got to make sure that that was even taken care of. And be on the road. And if I'm not mistaken, it's like a 10-hour drive from here to the Daytona area, and I have a brother that lives in Daytona, so that's the plan Friday is to get down that far and be able to shower, get some sleep, get up, get moving, and then Sunday or Saturday make it the rest of the way down to Homestead. It's about an 8-hour drive from where he stays get down, check out the Xfinity Series race, stay the night at the hotel. We got a hotel about 45 minutes from the track, trying to get a decent price, about as decent as we're going to get for what's going on there. And, I've seen some hotels as high as $500. Now, obviously, we didn't pay no $500. That's not in our budget, and I really hope it's not in some horrible, run-down ghetto neighborhood and regret even parking a rental car in this area, and it's an adult-only hotel on top of that. But that was about the cheapest we could come across. So we'll be staying the night, Saturday night. Get up and do the festivities again on Sunday. Hopefully we are rain-free, and I think the race starts like 2 o'clock. Get done with the race and done with all the championship festivities and the media center festivities, and then we'll start heading back that night. And I don't think we'll get back early enough to crash back at Daytona at my brother's. I think what we'll do is we'll drive back as far as we can until we just can't drive no farther, hit a rest stop, get a few hours sleep, and then proceed to keep moving forward first thing Monday morning, whatever the case may be. Got to be back. Got to have the rental car in, I think, Tuesday morning, and then also on top of that, we both got to go to work. Now, if it rains, then that throws in complications. I was even figuring even if it rains and ends up being a Monday race, they kick it off at noon, you're still looking at 4, 5, 6 o'clock by the time everything's said and done. I'm planning all about 18, 20 hours worth of driving back from Homestead all the way up to where we stay. So that means I would not make it back in time to work on Tuesday. So I'm really hoping that Tuesday or this race this weekend ends up being a go on Sunday, because I've experienced that too many times the last 2 races. As a matter of fact, here in Charlotte, what was supposed to be the only chase in the race that was a night race at Charlotte, and then the World of Outlaws about a week or so ago. Both races got moved to Sunday, and I was unable to do it because I didn't have the day off. So hopefully it all works in our favor. I'd love more than anything the opportunity to be down there. What we're going to try to do is, because of the nifty little Spreaker app, what we're going to try to do is do some little bits from the track and bring you guys some inside footage, coverage, topics, things going on. So hoping to do that. Brings back some great pictures, great stories to share with you guys. So definitely looking forward to that opportunity. One of those tracks that, not because it's Homestead, or the Homestead part of it anyway, but the fact that it's the championship race, that is more of what makes it a must race for us and a race on the bucket list. If Homestead would have been in any other part of the season, yeah, I would go to it. I don't know if I would make a 20-hour trip, especially 18 to 20-hour trip roughly, to do it, to go see the race. But it being a championship race, obviously we're going to go ahead and make the trip. If I was in that area, yes, I would. Or, if it worked out that I was like on a week's vacation or something and spending time down in Florida with family, then yes, I probably would as well. But not the way things are going this weekend, just to go down to the race and turn around and come back. No, normally I would not if that race wouldn't have been the championship race. So looking forward to going to Homestead. Very excited about that. The guys wrapped up Phoenix and wrapped up the last race of the last round before the final race, the championship race. So good race last night. Rain shortened. 6-hour delay. Before it even a 6-hour rain delay before the race even got started. And then it gets rain short. We get shorted about 92 laps in a, 219? Yeah, 93 laps. It was like 7 laps short of 100 laps short in rain. Dale Jr. wins the race. Kevin Harvick second, Joey Logano third. Interesting. It just is. It's karma. I talked a little bit about this on Rubbing Is Racing. It's all karma. I'm not a Dale Jr. fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I felt that he was potentially shafted out of the Talladega win. Why I say potentially, where I have mixed feelings is the first attempt at the green-white checker, NASCAR waved off and didn't count it as an attempt, even though it was an attempt. The second one was an attempt. The first one's got to be an attempt. Both of them had wrecks before they hit the start-finish line. So if you count one, you got to count the other. If you don't count one, you can't count the other. But that's a whole argument we've already had before. But that's why I don't feel so bad, because technically he shouldn't have won. It should have been Joey Logano's race anyway, because that first one should have counted. But being how it didn't, and then they went with the second one, then I felt kind of bad because Kevin Harvick did what he did to ensure his availability into the next round, which ultimately probably cost Junior a chance at winning the race. Well, it did cost him a chance to win the race, but ultimately probably cost him the race is Junior probably had the better of the cars. And, so to win this race, even though he's still not in the even though he's not in the chase no more, it didn't, necessarily do much for him other than give him a win. At least he got the opportunity to be back in victory lane, which is good. So karma kind of played a factor into that, and then even more so for Joe Logano. I mean, race shortened. You're third, could have possibly won the race. Wasn't the fastest car. I mean, Kevin Harvick led like 143 of the 219, so Kevin Harvick definitely had the dominant car, but who'd say he would have got tangled up in something or got in some kind of tire failure or engine failure or anything to those lines. And it's not even the fact that karma just for what Joey Logano did to Kenseth and then got away with, and Kenseth got suspended for. This is something that's been building up for years. This is something that Logano's got away with for a long time, and someone just finally said, today's it. Today you're finally getting due justice. And so karma, paid Logano back, as he's not in, he was one of the favorites going into the chase, one of the favorites most of the season. I mean, hell, he won the Daytona 500. And more Brad Keselowski, see the championship round. As a matter of fact, before coming out of Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex, and Jeff Gordon, all four different stories. You got Kevin Harvick, defending champion, trying to repeat. You got Kyle Busch, missed 11 races with that horrific wreck and injury, comes back, wins 4 of his first 5, 6, 7 races, something like that. And goes on to having a very, very productive season. You have Martin Truex, the single-car team that's still in it, the car based out of Denver. As a matter of fact, the team that's got to get their car together and get it out of there before the snowstorm hits Denver. And then you got Jeff Gordon, a 4-time champion, trying to go out with a bang in his final race of his career. So four different scenarios here, and 3 out of 4 I can live with. I do not want Gordon to win. I'm so tired of hearing about Jeff Gordon and his farewell tour and all this. That win, yes, a win's a win. He puts 93 in the record book, but I mean, he wasn't even a dominant car of that race. It just happened to happen towards the end of the race, and Matt Kenseth took out Logano and took out the fastest car. If it would have been for that, we wouldn't even be talking about Jeff Gordon in this final round, possibly. But 3 out of 4 I could deal with. I'm still not feeling it. And, there's a lot of people that talk a whole bunch of mess about Kyle Busch. Oh, he's not that good of a Sprint Cup driver, even though he's won 33 races. And I'm not saying that's a crap ton, but you look at the resume, a lot of people in the Sprint Cup Series right now, he's probably top 10 or 15, probably top 10 on wins list in the active roster right now. And I'm not sure where he falls in line, but I'm sure he's probably a good top 50 or top 100 all-time win list. I don't know everybody's resume, but, I mean, when you got people like Kyle Petty, who ran for like 800 years and only won 8 races, and Jeremy Mayfield won a couple races, and Elliott Sadler won a couple races, and you got, I don't think Casey Kane's even got double digits yet, and I mean we can go on all day long with drivers we know that are nowhere close to 33. So I know it's got to be a pretty pretty decent stat, and that's just Sprint Cup, because a lot of people. He's got a name as he wins and he dominates the Xfinity Series. You get tired of watching him in the Xfinity Series. Don't get me wrong, people. I get tired of watching the Cup regulars in the Xfinity Series too. I don't like it. And he's got 76 wins, and they follow that with 44 wins in the Truck Series. I mean, all around, he wins in just about anything and everything he gets into. And I think that a lot of people like to give him a bad rap because he wins so many Xfinity Series races and nobody ever takes him serious. Oh, he's not a champion. He'll never be a champion. He'll this, that, and the other. And, I was crunching the numbers. And I think those that are anti-Kyle Busch, those that hate on Kyle Busch, don't really know what they're talking about. This man has ran 12 years in the Sprint Cup Series, 389 total races up to this point, 193 top 10s. So in 49.6% of the races, basically 50% of the races that he has participated in, he has finished in the top 10. Top 10. For somebody that people feel that he is never going to win a championship, and honestly, I think if he win one championship, it's still not going to shut up a lot of people. But for those that feel that he is not a legitimate Sprint Cup driver, that he'll never be a champion, how do you argue 50% of your races being top 10? I mean, Jeff Gordon is obviously got a better, and I'm looking at his stat right now, a better figure. He's at 59% of his races. So 10% of his races is better. But, I mean, the competition was also different at a different point in time. There was a point in time, especially from 2000 until, 2 years ago, we had no rookies ever make it. I mean, there was just no new talent. And so you got to figure when he did most of his damage in those seasons that were ridiculous, that he was winning 11 races in a season because, I mean, the competition just wasn't necessarily as good as it needed to be. But he had, 96, he had 10 wins, and 97 had 10 wins, and 98 had 13, and I kept saying I want to say 11, but 13 wins. Obviously that's a lot about the competition. I mean, when you have 26 top fives, as a matter of fact, in 2 years in a row, in 72 races, you have 48 top fives. 48 top fives. That lets you know a lot. And as a matter of fact, you have 33 wins in 3 years, and you're looking at 69 top fives right there alone. That kind of tells you a little bit about the competition level at that point. And I ain't trying to knock NASCAR at that point in time, but obviously the skill set is nowhere where it is now. We don't have all the different teams and the talent level that we have now, but 49% of races top 5. To me, that's or top 10. I'm sorry, says a lot, especially in today's NASCAR with the talent that we have in today's NASCAR. Like I said, obviously, I would like to know more of the last probably 5 to 10 years, or basically, about the last 12 years. I would love to know what top 10 is, and I could do those stats or whatever. But Dale Jr., not even close to 50%. And we could sit there and compare these numbers all day long to many different drivers. But for those that is only at 42%, it just kills me because you hear the same arguments that the only reason you know them is because the Xfinity and the Truck Series, and that's the only series you win, and you can't win this, that, and the other. Well, you got 33, which is 7 more in 5 less years than Dale Jr. But we don't got to have the same argument and hear that same stuff come out of people's mouth about Dale Jr. And 7%, almost 8% of the races he's finished in the ratio 42 to 49. The top 10. It's just, I don't know how people say this stuff. It kills me when I hear stuff come out of people's mouth, and it just sounds retarded sometimes. And but anyway, got Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex, Jeff Gordon, Homestead this weekend. Like I said, looking forward to. Very excited about having the opportunity to go down there and watch it and be part of it. Be part of the festivities for the weekend. Rhonda Rousey. I tell you what, like I said, it was 2 things I thought I could always count on. I thought I could always count on Floyd Mayweather never losing a boxing match. He's 48, 49-0. And I never thought that I would see Rhonda Rousey lose a match. I figured that she would be one of those that would probably finish her season, her career, undefeated. And if she didn't, it would be towards the very end of her career, as she was getting past her prime, not still right after or in the middle of her prime. So really shocked. Holly Holm, she put on one hell of a match. It seemed like Rhonda had no answer for the left punch, the left jabs, and then when she landed that kick, it was wild. Like I think the UFC world was shocked, and she was definitely not in the right mind, and it was crazy because if you watched it seemed that Rhonda was chasing her the whole time. I'm sorry, I'm the champion. You bring the fight to me. I reserve the right. I reserve the right to be walking around and backing up. You chase me around the ring. You run your energy out. And that's not what happened. It seemed that most of that matchup, you watched Rhonda chasing Holly around the octagon, which I think that hurt Rhonda some because she was using energy running her down and chasing after her. And I know that I've seen comments from some people that I know talking about that's what happens when you get a boxer in there, and I don't necessarily, because she didn't win by boxing, she won by kicking her. I don't think that it was necessarily the boxing that won Holly that matchup. I think it was more that it was a better strategy. She was able to play enough mind games with Rhonda that Rhonda was heated enough that she went chasing her. She used energy she did not need to be using, and ultimately, to me, gave Holly the upper hand. I mean, that's the only way I can look at it, and that's how I feel about it. And a tough loss. Curious to, and to me, I know a lot of people out there, already, well, what's it just do to the UFC? I mean, this only hurts the brand. Now you don't have this immortal fighter that wins all the time, and it's a for sure thing. And to me, it's good for the sport. I mean, honestly, outside the Pacquiao match, which I still wouldn't have paid for because I didn't want to watch two senior citizens boxing. If you would have had it years ago when it was a big deal and both of them were undefeated and still in the prime, yeah, I don't know if I would have paid for it, depending on my financial situation at the time, but I would have been more hip to the idea of getting, the pay-per-view, or at least making a point to go somewhere. And I definitely would have made a point to at least go see it. But outside of the, nobody wanted to watch or spend that money, or I didn't anyway, on someone I knew was going to win. And it more than likely not even go the distance. And to me, honestly, they even commented even about halfway through the first match, this was like the longest match that Rhonda even had to fight. And I don't think she's ever made it to the end of the first round. And to me, that's where it helps the UFC, because I guarantee it couldn't be, I guarantee that it can't help ratings when someone is winning and you're wanting $50 or $60 for a pay-per-view, someone winning in the first round and not even making it barely into the first round. I mean, who wants to watch the same person dominate every match and spend all that money for it to be over just like that? To me, honestly, as many people out there, this is going to hurt the UFC, this, that, and the other. To me, this only helps. Only helps. Because now you're going to want to watch her come back. Now you know that she's immortal, that she can be beat. That gives you more of an incentive to want to get the pay-per-view or make the point to keep up. Or, I mean, to me, this was. I know this is not what Rhonda Rousey was hoping for, and I don't know Dana White's thought on the whole thing, but to me, if I'm Dana White, I'm sitting there, oh yeah, hell yeah. Now you got a storyline. Now she's got to return. Now she's not only got to reprove herself, but now she has got to prepare herself even better so she can retain her championship. And, of course, that's going to draw attention. And that first match that she comes back to, I'm sure that it's going to be one of those that has a higher rating. So I don't know. I as much as I didn't want to see Rhonda Rousey lose, and it does not change anything in my personal opinion. Yes, I can still go for her laying on my couch in some of the outfits I've seen her, or laying on my bed, as a matter of fact. I think it's good for the UFC that happened. I think that only helps your stats. That only helps only helps the UFC situation, in my opinion. And who am I to but to me that it helped. So Rhonda Rousey loses, no longer has the belt. Went to the hospital actually after. She'll be back, so we'll definitely keep our eye on that. Of course, Mayweather couldn't keep out. He got 50 Cent to throw some comments out there. I'm not going to get into the whole argument of which sport is tougher. I think both of them are as equally tough. and you have to prepare very, very much for both of them. I think you have to be honestly probably more prepared to fight in the UFC because you got so many different things. They can punch, they can kick, they can grapple, they submission moves, everything that can go into it. Boxing, you only got to look for a left or right hook or a left and right punch. I mean, that's all you got to worry about. But I'm not trying to make light of it because everybody punch is different. You got left or southpaw, righties, arm length. I mean, there's many. Don't get me wrong. There's many things that boxers got to prepare for as well. I just think that you could prepare more for a UFC match with the multiple fighting styles and possibilities. But I don't want to get into a whole pissing contest on, oh, boxing's tougher, UFC's tougher, or at least not here anyway. That is something that they let us do poll. I think they stopped letting us do poll questions. There'll be a poll question I can put out there for the fans to participate in and take in. But, I don't know. I don't like that argument because it's really a no-win argument ever. You can legitimately have, I think at states they did away with you having poll questions. But it's weird. I tell you what, Facebook, I've been a long time since I've seen social media blow up the way they did about it. It's like it was everywhere. If you didn't know, I tell you what, by Sunday morning you knew. Like there was no way if you touched anything that had to do with social media that you didn't know by the time by the time Sunday morning rolled around. So definitely. Crazy world. Oh, college football. We'll talk about karma. We'll talk about the Big 12. We'll talk about karma. This is what happens, people. When people start crying and moaning because their team is not in the top, in talks for the playoffs or even the top 25 at times, but more specifically the playoffs. The Big 12, you are a prime example of karma once again. And Baylor was the last prime example for the Big 12. There are a lot of people out there that were out there talking about why, asking questions and criticizing the fact that TCU and Baylor were not mentioned in the top four when it comes to the playoffs. Have an opportunity. And if they, won out their schedules respectively, there's a possibility that they might have made it in there. More than likely. They wouldn't have. I lost my train of thought there for a second. But there's a chance. But because of the fact is, once they played somebody finally that was legitimately good, not garbage like their schedule had been all year long. We got to see the true Baylor, first the true TCU, and second of all, and I was talking about TCU all year long, especially in that first week when they barely, by like 6 points, they had to come back at the end of the game to beat Minnesota. Took a miracle play for them to catch a touchdown in the end zone to win one of the games. I knew that they weren't top 4 product. And you looked at the schedules, and we talked about this one of the shows. You look at their schedules, good God, between Baylor, Oklahoma State, and TCU, their schedules are really a joke. And it wasn't until you get to the last few games where they actually all three played each other, and it's just because they played each other is the only reason they actually had ranked teams to even play. I mean, they each of them played like 2 ranked teams, and they're each other. And if they all weren't highly ever ranked, they wouldn't even have that. And it killed me because week in and week out, I understand that Ohio State, their schedule's flawed. Even though that they've been playing tough, Big Ten teams. Indiana was undefeated at the time. Played Penn State, who was 5-1 at the time. I forget who the other game was that they played. I understand that it's not until this week that they played 13th ranked Michigan State, and they play a ranked Michigan the final week that they've actually had, some tough opponents. But, they're also playing against Big Ten talent, not Big 12 garbage. And they're winning. The games might be close for the most part, but by the end of the game, Ohio State is able to have a pretty commanding win. And let's also mention the fact that they're coming up on, almost 30 wins straight and off a national title, win the playoff. There's a little bit more credibility to what they're doing. There is no legitimate reason that TCU or Baylor, and I know I beat this into the ground, and now I'm glad that finally they've all lost. But there's no... I just find it amazing how many people are single-minded and don't look at the big picture and don't look at the fact that they didn't play. It was like Boise State for a long time. Oh, my God, I get tired of hearing about Boise State should be considered for a national title. Boise State should be considered. No, Boise State should have been considered for anything because they never played nobody. I don't care if you go 5 years in a row undefeated. If your schedule is against nobody, this is how you solve it all. The playoffs helped a lot. The playoffs showed us a lot last year. When Florida State ran through their national title season playing their opponents of an 81-81 record combined and didn't even play a good opponent in the national title game, just got a team that luckily – miracle play, won them their SEC championship, and then won in the game before to get them into the SEC championship game. And they weren't even playing the best opponents. Go from that to they follow that with the next year, and once they actually had to play somebody legit and played somebody in the playoff system, they got their butts handed to them. Yes, the playoff system at the end, when it's all said and done, weeds it out. Because out of the top four teams out there, you got to play 2 of the top 4 teams. That's the only way you can win a national title. No matter who you are, in order to win a national title now, you've got to at least play 2 of the top 4 teams, which is great. That eliminates a lot. Still down for, I honestly believe that 75% of your schedule has got to be against at least top 50 teams. At least top 50. I like to be even lower than that. But I'll give you top 50 or better. Like I said, I would like it to be even lower, but I want at least 75% of your schedule. I give you 4 give-me games this season. I give you 2 out-of-conference give-me's so you can help those school programs and get national attention. and 2 interconference give-me games to help your conference as well. That way you're spread around the joy. So I think you play 2 give-me, whatever, then you play 2 teams in the Big Ten that are garbage, and the other 8 need to be going into the season top 50 to prove legitimately. Just think how interesting if you and don't get me wrong, it's interesting every week to see who prevails, who shocks the world. There's a lot of upsets. College football, but just think how much more interesting college football would be if these top teams were playing top 50 teams 75% of the season, or in other words, 8 games of the season. You know that they had to play legitimate opponents. And if you go into the season and you're not playing at least 75% of your schedule against top 50 teams, you should be ineligible to participate in the bowl. Now, I understand the schedule comes out way before the rankings, and that's why you really just need to base it off the last season's. And I'm fine with that. Base it off the last season's, final poll. But something's got to change on that aspect of it, because I'm tired of hearing the same arguments. Well, TCU should be considered for the playoff. Baylor should be. I mean, look, they're putting up 60, 70 points. They're playing what's equivalent to high school football teams. Of course they're putting up 70 points. So it's not a shock. But I'm glad that Karma, bit Baylor, the Big 12, on the butt. Very, very excited about that. Don't get me wrong. A lot of great games. TCU was able to beat Kansas 23-17. Northwestern over Purdue to try to keep their run 21-14. Michigan State over Maryland 24-7. Florida over South Carolina 24-14. Ohio State 28-3 over Illinois. 16th ranked Florida State 34-17 over NC State. 23rd ranked North Carolina 59-21 over Miami. Alabama, second ranked Alabama over Mississippi State 31-6. Navy, 20th ranked Navy 55-14 over SMU. Michigan in a double overtime over Indiana. It tells you how tough Indiana is. I mean, Ohio State kind of suffered. 14th ranked Michigan as well. Double overtime, 48-41 over Indiana. Notre Dame, 28-7 over Wake Forest. Number 1 Clemson, 37-27 over Syracuse. Oklahoma State over Iowa State, 35-31. Memphis loses by 1 point to Houston, 35-34. Temple gets ranked and they get beat pretty bad. South Florida, 44-23. LSU gets rocked by Arkansas, not just beat but rocked, 31-14. And I say that's only 17 points. That's 17 points to a team that was in the top 4 to an unranked team that barely been able to find their head from their own rears most of the season. Stanford, 7th-ranked Stanford loses to Oregon, 38-36. Oklahoma over Baylor, 44-34. And Iowa over Minnesota, and that's a 40-35 score there. So a lot of great games in the top 25, but more interested in the polls. The selection committee has Clemson 1, Alabama 2. Looks like Alabama-Ohio State rematch is what we're looking at right now. Notre Dame, I'm still not feeling the Notre Dame thing, being a top 4 team. They're not in the top 4 in AP polls, and I know that don't make a difference, but I'm not feeling it. I'm also not feeling the fact that I have no problem with Alabama being in the top 4. And I was saying that for a long time. I felt even after the loss, they still should have been in the top 5. That's what I felt. But I don't feel in the selection committee that Alabama should be your second-ranked team. I don't know how this committee discredits a team that is coming up on like 30 straight wins, defeated Alabama last season, won the first playoff system, and is not really I mean, they've not been blowout games, but Ohio State's really not had that close of games for them to be only sitting third. I have no problem with Clemson, even though I still feel the same that until you knock off the number one team, they should still be the number one. I don't have a problem with Clemson being number one. I have an issue with the selection committee putting Alabama above Ohio State, though. I just don't feel that that's the way it goes. And Notre Dame, I'm not hip. And I tell you what. Oh, an interception. Oh, I tell you what, that was one hell of a throw by Brian Hoyer, though. Yeah, he threw that thing like 80 yards. Cincinnati, and I don't know what you're celebrating. It was just a pickoff on a Hail Mary pass. You didn't do nothing phenomenal, dude. But Cincinnati goes to the half up 6-3 over the Houston Texans. Close game. Houston keeping this game a lot closer. For the Cincinnati being a big bad Bengals and undefeated, Houston is keeping this game very close. So I'm very surprised, 6-3. But I like I said, I have a problem with Notre Dame being top four. They've not proven nothing to me at this point. Honestly, I would still feel better even if LSU was still above them. Just not hip on it. But we got Clemson. What is the CFB selection committee has them right now? We got Clemson 1, Alabama 2, Ohio State 3, Notre Dame 4. Iowa 5th, they really ain't played nobody. Even though it's a Big Ten team and the conference is a little bit harder, their schedule, because of their schedule, Iowa should never have an opportunity. No matter if they go undefeated, I don't care who wins, who loses, unless Iowa beats Ohio State. In the Big Ten championship game, I don't think that Iowa has a reason or an opportunity to be in the top four. I just don't. Baylor 6, already overrated. Then you just lost and you only moved down to 6. Not a big fan of that. Stanford 7th, Oklahoma State 8th, LSU 9th. I would really like LSU to at least be 6th, if not 5th or 4th. Utah 10th, Florida 11th, Oklahoma 12th, Michigan State 13th, Michigan 14th. Just think how much things would be different if Michigan State wouldn't have blocked that punt and Michigan would have never lost that game and been bumped all the way back down. They'd have to work all the way back up to 14th. Just think how different things would be. TCU 15th, Florida State 16th. Still don't know how Florida State's hanging around, but for some reason they are. Mississippi State 17th, Northwestern 18th, UCLA 19th, Navy 20th. 21st goes to Memphis, 22 Temple, 23 North Carolina, 24 Houston, 25 Wisconsin. Wisconsin find themselves back in the top 25 according to the committee. So. I'll tell you what. Season is getting very interesting. As we're getting down to the last couple games of the season. Like I said, Ohio State's got Michigan State and Michigan, 13th to 14th ranked team. We're starting to unwind and get the big games out of the way, and interesting games to me this weekend. Michigan and Penn State ought to be a good one in Penn State. 21st Memphis, 22nd Temple ought to be a good one. Get Virginia Tech beat North Carolina. Knock one of the only two ACC teams in the top 25, and honestly, North Carolina has no business being in the top 25, but they are. And Virginia Tech, do something about that. 18th ranked Northwestern gets 25th ranked Wisconsin, and Wisconsin stay in the top 25 this time, or just Northwestern suffer another loss that they can't afford to lose. Big Ten matchup that is great. The 13th ranked Michigan State Ohio State game, obviously a really good game. Ole Miss and LSU playing at Ole Miss, it'll make for a good game, even though Ole Miss ain't had the season they was hoping for, and are no longer ranked like they once upon a time was, will make for a good game. 19th ranked UCLA, 10th ranked Utah ought to be a slobber knocker of a game. Ought to be fun to watch. Mississippi State, Arkansas. Who knows with Arkansas? It seems like they just come out of nowhere and beat teams. Can't take care of business when they need to take care of it, but all of a sudden they're beating teams and so it wouldn't be really a surprise if they was able to do the same thing in Mississippi State. 6th ranked Baylor and 8th ranked Oklahoma State. I don't make a good one. Big 12, a big Big 12 matchup. Another one. 15th ranked TCU and 12th ranked Oklahoma. A lot of great games this weekend. A lot of competitive games. A lot of games that you definitely got to make sure that you have ready to record, DVR, devote, or anything else that you may or may not do. So definitely looking forward to a lot of action this weekend when it comes to football. And I tell you what, it's going to be a tough time. I'll have a tough time trying to keep up with that. With everything going on this weekend for Homestead. I tell you what, race and everything going on. I can't even begin to tell you how tough it's going to be to keep up with everything. But we're gonna do our best here and make sure that Monday we're ready to talk about, especially the matchups we haven't. Good God. So make sure you guys check me out on Twitter. You can follow me at CJ Sports 1. You can follow the 110 Nation at 110 Nation. Check us out on the web, www.the110nation.com. Check out our blog as well, www.the110nationsports.com. Check out our fan page, my fan page, Mr. CJ Sports, the 110 Nations fan page, 110 Nation Sports. Make sure you guys check this out. A lot of football games. I did not have that great of a week. I need to write down my record. I missed last week's writing them down. I got to write them down. And I need to retaliate this week's as well, but not the kind of week that I was hoping for. As I talk about some of these games, I'm going to mark them down. Got to check on that one. I know I lost that one. I know I won that one. I know I lost that one. I know I won that one. I know I lost that one. I won that one. I lost that one. I know I got at least 7 losses, probably more. By far the worst week I have had, and obviously I'm not going to get to my 75% that I was hoping to get at, and unless the season turns around. But this week, I tell you what, Buffalo kicked things off. I honestly thought at home the Jets could handle themselves. I thought that, I mean, at some point you got to. If you want a shot at the wild card, I mean, you know. You already kind of know going into the season that you're not going to beat out Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, so you're banking on, out of your division, you're banking on a wild card. I mean, out of your conference, that's all you can. You're not winning your division. So at that point, that's really the only thing you got. And the Jets, I mean, at one point in time, were just one game out of first, I believe, with like a 4-1 record. And it's crazy how much things have changed, and now the Jets are sitting at 5-4. No longer, even in second place. Now Buffalo takes that second spot. I mean, even if the playoffs was to finish right now, you ain't looking at either one of those. Actually, you have to be looking at both of those, or no, one of those. You're looking at the Buffalo Bills making the playoffs, but Jets, I don't know what to tell you. You're just falling apart. Cleveland, Pittsburgh wins 30-9. Interesting game. Johnny Manziel. Tell you what, a rough day for the team. Johnny Manziel put up a pretty good performance. A performance that will probably give him another starting job. I mean, another starting opportunity in Cleveland. As much as I'm anti Johnny Manziel, and feel that he has no business really even playing this season now at this point with this whole domestic violence stuff going on. He obviously, in my opinion, gives Cleveland Browns the best opportunity to win a football game. Sitting at 2-8 and has got one of your only two wins. Did go 30 of 45, 372 yards, 73.3%. I understand some of those yards was in garbage time as they were down, and Cleveland losing 30-9. But one touchdown, one interception. So not a bad day. Ben Roethlisberger had to come in. Landry Jones ends up getting hurt. Landry Jones had gone 3 for 4 before getting hurt. Roethlisberger had to go in and come back in, going 22 of 33, 379 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Put up a pretty good day. Not too bad. Tell you what, Travis Benjamin is definitely Johnny Manziel's favorite target. Seems every time he plays, that's who he hits and targets. Targeting 11 times, connecting 7 for 113 yards. Martavis Bryant, and it was the Martavis Bryant Antonio Brown show. Bryant 178 yards on 6 receptions for a touchdown. Antonio Brown 139 yards on 10 receptions for 2 touchdowns. As the Steelers looks like they're getting things rolling, and the Steelers are trying to put themselves. Obviously right now they're the the first of the 2 wild card spots, sitting 6-4 and sitting comfortably. In their division anyway, with the Baltimore being 2-7 and Cleveland being 2-8, and now it's really up to the Steelers kind of control their destiny. As long as you keep winning games, the division's there, and the AFC is weak as I don't know what. You only have 3 teams total outside your division leaders. As a matter of fact, you only got 6 teams total in the whole AFC conference that are above 500. At least that on the other side, you're looking at least 6, so you're looking a little better. And Steelers obviously are going to continue doing what they got to do to stay pace with the other wild card teams. Miami and Philadelphia, Sam Bradford, no big surprise, goes out. Mark Sanchez comes in, and Miami wins. Not obviously what Philadelphia was hoping for, and I still had to pick Philadelphia next week anyway. Talk about going beast. I think Kirk Cousins has finally turned conversation of whether or not RG3 should be the starting quarterback to rest. I think that conversation is finally coming to an end, as Kirk Cousins has another one of those one hell of a performance kind of days. Now, granted, it's against the New Orleans Saints, and we done discussed that the Saints have no defenses. That what was that 51-48 game, whatever it was, 100 points or whatever it was against the Giants. But Kirk Cousins going 20 of 25, 324 yards, 4 touchdowns for a 158.3 quarterback rating. Definitely was on point, and Kirk Cousins definitely making it difficult for the whole conversation of whether or not he should be the starting quarterback or not. or whether or not RG3 should be back in the saddle. I've always thought that Kirk Cousins was the better of the quarterbacks. I have not decided if he's a legitimate starting quarterback yet, and if he's going to lead this team anywhere. Still kind of uncertain, but I have always believed that Kirk Cousins was the better of the two quarterbacks. Just needed an opportunity to be able to step in and not just play a game or two, but be able to really step in and have an opportunity to get used to the system, be out there on a regular basis to be able to learn how to read defenses better and make better decisions. And, here we are, Washington sitting 4-5 in a very weak division. A division that 4-5 has them one game, not even one game, a half a game out of first place. And just as much alive. And as a matter of fact, I have them as upsetting the Carolina Panthers this weekend. I believe that Washington has just as much of an opportunity to win this game as the Carolina Panthers. So, like I said, I think that Kirk Cousins just needed time to kind of find his way and get into a rhythm, be able to have an opportunity to read defenses and get the experience out there. And I think that Washington is definitely paying, rewarding from the dividends of doing this and making this possible. And like I said, I think we're finally past the RG3 conversation, and I think that there's a good chance that RG3 will be finding himself a new team next year. So really, really not a big surprise. Another game that surprised me was the New York and the New England game, as New England has not been able to beat the Giants, and I didn't even know that stat before I picked the Giants. I picked the Giants, but the Giants have just been the nemesis for the New England Patriots, and it almost happened again last night. But Patriots have not had not beat the Giants since 2008, and seems like the Giants have had their number every year since. And the Giants actually went back up with a little less than 2 minutes left in the game, and a 4th and 10 play, and that New England was able to convert on to keep the drive alive at one point. And Edelman went out with a broken foot, and so you lost a key slot receiver for the New England Patriots, one of Tom Brady's favorite targets. So it was one of those games that a couple of mistakes, not good clock management. The Giants actually should have ran down that clock a lot more than what they did. A lot of bad decisions there at the end gave the New England Patriots the opportunity to win the game. I picked the Giants. I honestly thought that the Giants once again would do what they had to do to keep the New England Patriots from winning, and was not the case. And it was definitely a surprise. Tom Brady threw like 2 interceptions, just as many as he had going into the game. So Rob Ryan of the New Orleans Saints defensive coordinator got relieved of his duties today. Not a really big surprise after we watched the Washington Redskins win 47-14 over the New Orleans Saints. I saw comparison, all the teams that the Saints have played this year, that defense has made their quarterbacks look just as good as Tom Brady has all season long. Like, it is really ridiculous how pitiful that New Orleans Saints defense has been all year long. So, hell, the Saints were even 79% favorites to win this game. Carolina, Tennessee. Carolina keeps their undefeated season going. Longest longest win streak, but the best season or best start in franchise history. Childish this week. but still had some childish moments in the game. And, of course, the Tennessee defense didn't appreciate Cam Newton dancing. I'm sorry, I have mad respect for Barry Sanders, and never once did we see Barry Sanders act like a fool out there. He was very polite and handed the referee the ball. You got Cam Newton doing ridiculous. This is not Saturday night at the club dances after scoring a touchdown. It is what it is. But teams are starting to take exception to it, and and like he said, and I agree with what he said. You don't want me to do it, keep me out of the end zone. I mean, it's simple as that. If you don't want me doing my ridiculous dances, you don't want me to look like an idiot in the end zone, keep me out of the end zone. I mean, just quite that simple. Honestly, not that hard at all. And so I greatly appreciate what is being said, and I take full consideration because I'm tired of seeing the stupid dances as well.
Okay, let's do this. Jog 3 miles before breakfast. Make it to work by 9. Run out for a salad at lunch. Oh, time to own that meeting at 3. Yes, 10,000 steps. What's next?
Fearless is not hitting snooze. That's the power of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Federal Employee Program. With more healthy benefits and tools, no one does more to help you live fearless. Sign up at fepblue.org/action by December 14th.